I'm breaking it. How are you, pal?
I'm good.
Come in.
We're ready to go.
Yeah? I am ready too.
Sure.
Yes. Slightly apprehensive, but that's usually a good thing. If I'm yawning and nervous, that normally means I'm ready.
I'd be a bit worried if you weren't nervous.
Yeah. What are you doing, Kat? Wow.
How are you feeling now? So this is what, just gone 9 o'clock. How are you feeling?
Same as always, I guess, pre-race nerves. So today I felt, you know, cotton mouth and a bit sort of jittery, I suppose. But that's, you know, over the years I've learned that's a sign that you're ready to race. So I know it's not a race, but so yeah, just how you would expect, really. I think the enormity of the indoor aspect of it is weighing a bit heavy on my mind, and obviously there'll be lots of people here to interact with, but it's kind of on a different footing because other things that I've done when you rely on a support crew, you're running or riding around a loop and seeing them, and then you're running and riding around the loop and seeing them, whereas this time people will be there all the time, and I don't know how that will feel because it's never happened to me before, so I'm quite interested to see what that feels like.
So in the sense of like a normal build up to a race and whatever else is the same, but would you say mentally so far it's been a bit more stressful in the sense of more things are playing on your mind than it would in if you were going to do an Ironman tomorrow or whatever else, your mindset, you'd have less on your mind than it is right now? Because
probably, but I think the easiest way to sum that up is because I did the DECA, I worry that people will think that I should be able to do this, and because it's half the distance, but it's not even comparable. It's at least as difficult, in my opinion, having trained for it now. And it's what I was looking for. It's about what's up top, isn't it? It's about dealing with something that's a bit unnerving, and that's why we do these things, I guess, and it's certainly why I do it. And I've got loads of motivation this year as well, because obviously we raised a lot of money last time, which is being spent really well. We've got 4 youth nights will be starting in Alfreton over the next couple of months, which didn't exist before I raised the money for the DECA, and the pot's empty now and the pressure's on to raise a bit more money, and so that's motivating me to do this. And back at home now, I've got a group of people who are like-minded with me, helping me. We've got what's called a community interest company, which later will become a charity when we prove that we can raise enough money to be charitable consistently. So that's great, that's really exciting. But in a way, that's something else that I care about now, whereas obviously in the past I've only really cared about myself and doing my event. So that adds a new kind of pressure, which is nice, but it's something new to deal with, which I hadn't had before. So that's good. But I've got loads of great people around me, so yeah, I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to starting.
yeah, so I'll weigh in, and absolutely I'm in that boat of that you should be able to do this because you've done a DECA.
Yeah,
But,
well, everybody would say that.
But my personal opinion is this is definitely harder than a DECA.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Like we've spoke before about it, but genuinely I think this is definitely harder than a DECA. Mentally, it's going to be so tough.
And another motivation for me, which people will be surprised about, especially Matt Bagshaw, my engineering mate, is that I love the fact that these people who love science are going to be able to gather data that they've not been able to gather before, and who knows where that's going to go. And if people don't do things, our knowledge is never increased, is it? So yeah, it's exciting. Yeah.
All about the scientainment.
Oh yeah, it's all about scientainment. Yes.
Okay.
That's not that rectal thermometer.
That is exactly what that is.
It's a big head on that one.
Is it a temperature number? Can you brain signals are strong. Okay, amazing. And if you could just make a snoring noise. Okay, amazing. One last thing, up to you. Nasal cannula.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah.
For me and other people that are going to watch this that aren't sciencey, can you explain in like layman's terms what everything that he's currently got on him measures in a non-scientific way?
Okay, so everything that's run by the system is all within this black box. So this whole system is polysomnography that we'll use to measure sleep, but everything basically connects to this. It's the support of everything. So here we've got the head box, and all these cables, as you can see, are all over his head, and they're located in certain positions for the centres of the brain. So we've got the frontal lobe, the central lobe, and at the back we've got occipital lobe, and they'll give us a good array of all the signals across his brain. On here we've got a nasal cannula, which is for pressure flow of breathing and can also pick up snoring. Here we've got pulse oximeter for oxygen saturation, and then here we've got an ECG for his heart rate.
What's the stuff on his shins?
On his shins, give a little wiggle your toes. These are PLMs, so they're for periodic leg movements.
Okay.
So if we get people with restless leg syndrome or kicking in the sleep while they're dreaming, that can pick everything up. So yeah, all for muscle activation basically.
And this is going to get measured every night with some analysis, which we can follow up tomorrow and the next day.
So donate.
Yeah, indeed.
Because it's time to go through this.
Every day. So I've just been talking with James ahead of tomorrow and starting it. He's very apprehensive, and I think he's worried mentally how he's going to cope over anything else, which I tend to agree with this event. One of the things he said was he thinks that people will think because he's done a DECA that he can absolutely smash this and this isn't that big of a deal. But I think and anybody else that trains indoors on treadmills, how tough it's going to be. But from seeing James today, what are your thoughts of how he is and how you think it's going to sort of pan out?
I have similar thoughts to him, and what you said there, I'm going to echo that in that I probably fell into the job thinking it would be easier as well, but the closer it comes I think it will be really hard, and just kind of trying to imagine it myself. It's that keeping yourself stimulated and kind of just mentally with it is going to be really tricky, I think, especially on the run. I think the bike will be okay, maybe a bit uncomfortable, but I think the treadmill's going to be horrid. But yeah, I think we're probably feeling similar to him as well, because we're not sure how it's going to pan out from our point of view. So I think we'll probably all be in a better place and a bit more confident this time tomorrow, having done a day.
Yeah, definitely. I think getting day one out of the way is really important for us and James. He does seem nervous, but I don't blame him at all. And yeah, I agree, he probably thinks people will assume he'll be fine because he's done the DECA, but this is a completely different event. It's a total different mind game. There's a lot more going on with us being around, doing lots of sciencey things that will, could play on his mind or could influence how he views the event. So yeah.
He's also the only one doing it this time. There's no one else. I imagine last time he kind of created little battles with people and
I think well, from what I only watched the DECA through YouTube and kept up with it in that sense of stuff, but obviously if you've got people that are in front of you or behind you, he had that sort of point of where he was coming to Simpo time, this is where I'm going to go. Lots of things were playing in his head, whereas this isn't a race, this is just him doing something on his own for science, but on his own and having to get through it. Mentally, I think this is the toughest thing to do. I don't think I could sit on a treadmill or even a bike for that many days in a row. But, cheers, thank you for that.